3 years later, we're stuck together as a parenting duo for the rest of our careers, or at least until our kids tell us to end the podcast or they will call social services. You know when you look at your partner and you think, is this it, the person I'm going to wake up with forever? I have that when I look at Rob Beckett on a Zoom call every Monday morning.
Josh, you don't know this, but I've started turning the screen off and I just listen to your voice. I like to imagine the pain in your eyes when you're talking about your week, just like the listeners.
That is unbelievable. But,
Understandable.
Understandable. You're looking at me now, that's the main thing.
You've got quite a distracting face. I'm struggling here.
Yeah, okay.
Just because when you see your face in real life, it doesn't look real. It's like cartoons come to life. I know that's coming from me.
Yeah, that is unfair.
Yes, that is unfair. So you're dealing with the same problem with my face as I'm with your face. But yeah, I think we're doing well.
Yeah, I think we were doing well until 20 seconds ago.
Okay, sure. Carry on.
When Rob and I decided to write the book, our editor asked us if we would be sitting down to write it together. The answer was absolutely no chance. I spend 2 hours a week on a Zoom call with Rob, and that is my maximum exposure. Rob and I love each other because we come from different worlds, have the opposite views on more or less everything. Rob likes I'm a Celebrity, Love Island, and bucket hats. I have some self-respect. Had we put 6 months aside to sit together and debate if a sentence should end in a full stop, my option, or 6 exclamation marks, Rob's choice, we would have ended up with no book, podcast, or friendship.
Also, by splitting this book up, it means we only have to write half a book each rather than a whole one. I think that's how you read 6 exclamation marks.
Yeah, I think you've nailed it. So, that is why this book is a conversation between two people who on paper really shouldn't be friends.
As much as I love Josh, we do see the world in very different ways. There are 2 types of people in this world, loose necks and stiff necks, with me being Lieutenant Loose and Josh being Sergeant Stiff. Loose necks are relaxed and carefree legends who occasionally lose their wallets and miss flights, but what a life they are having. Whereas stiff necks are walking, talking Excel spreadsheets who plan everything in advance. They never miss a train and they know exactly what needs to be done and how to do it. I mean, I respect the stiffies. It's an efficient way to live your life, but where is the fun?
If you want to know how bad my stiff neck is, I genuinely had to write half of my chapters for this in an exercise book because using a laptop for more than 15 minutes at a time is bad for my neck. I then had to send this exercise book to a friend who has a serviceable neck and can touch type to pay her to type it up.
Whereas I wrote 2 chapters on Joe Swash's stag do in Ibiza. Off my nut.
See if you can spot them. If I've learned one thing in the last few months, it's that being a 39-year-old man writing in an exercise book in public is quite a weird look. If you're planning on doing this, think about what you'll say when people ask you what you're up to. There is no lower moment than when a drunk Welsh rugby fan on the train to Swansea asks you what you're writing in an exercise book, and you panic and tell the truth, that you're writing a graphic description of your child's inability to shit during potty training.
If you want to know who has written each bit of this book, Josh reads his sections out and my bits are funny.
The other way you'll be able to tell the difference is Rob's bits will be shouty and full of references to things he has seen on E4 or TikTok because he's desperate to convince himself he's still young and relevant.
Yes, fam, that is peak. Josh's bits will also be full of outdated references like Jet from Gladiators, Bruce Grobbelaar and Salmonella because he hasn't moved on since the 90s. This is our book about parenting, which basically means us moaning about the hardest bits. This doesn't mean we hate parenting or hate our kids, but no one in their right minds wants to listen to a book in which we just keep saying how much we love our kids. Those are the absolute worst type of parents, so just take it as given that we love our kids.
So much so that we've written a book about them.
The other thing this isn't is a step-by-step journey to the first years of being a parent. When we first came together to plan this book, a meeting that went so well that within an hour I had said we really should have got a 3-book deal, we wrote down a list of the big things that everyone thinks stands out when you are parents of young children. Teething, crawling, walking, first words, and we realised we didn't have anything to say on any of them. In fact, we don't even remember a lot of them happening. Is this because we spent those first years exhausted, or are we just bad people? You decide. So this is a book that covers subjects that we think every parent or prospective parent might be interested in listening to, and nothing about things we think are boring. For example, there is nothing here on bathing your kid because it is not funny, it is boring to do, and even more boring to listen to someone talk about. We want you to laugh, so if we have nothing else funny or interesting to say about a particular subject, we move on. We are parents, and most of you are parents, so we don't have time to waste. You can dip in and out of the book, particularly if you are a parent of young children who will never have time to listen to it in one sitting.